Kawat Maranon. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Law. On behalf of PSU, I would like to extend my warm welcome to our guests to this special lecture on ASEAN in global context by Mr. Triyogo Jatmiko, the Consul, head of mission of the Consulate of the Republic of Indonesia in Songkhla, Thailand. Before we start this special lecture, I would like to brief a very short background of our special guest to all of you. Mr. Triyogo Jatmiko was graduated from the Graduate School of Government Program Master of Arts in Foreign Affairs and Trade from Australian National University in Canberra and Monash University, Melbourne, both in Australia, and German literature, very interesting, from the Faculty of Letters, University of Indonesia, Jakarta. Mr. Triyogo Jatmiko is at the high level of his professional. Currently, he serves as a Consul, head of mission of the Consulate of the Republic of Indonesia in Songkhla, Thailand. His professional experience was including Deputy Head of the Bureau of Minister responsible for media and public engagement of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Indonesia, Consulate Political Affairs at New York for the United Nations in the USA. He also worked for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in many posts before he moved to before he moved to Songkhla, because we hope that you come to Hat not in Songkhla. Okay, so please very welcome Mr. Triyogo Jatmiko. And to welcome our distinguished guest lecturer today, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Dr. Patra Ayarak, Vice President for Global Relations and Informatics, giving us a warm welcome speech. Please welcome.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the team from Consulate Office in Songkhla. You might not know that we work with Consulate General Office for some time, because one of the reasons is our international students, the highest number of international students in PSU are Indonesian. So we have a lot of friends from Indonesia coming to our university. So this is another opportunity, which is a good opportunity for you all to listen to the lecture and understand the context of ASEAN from the diplomats. So you see the bigger picture, I hope. So thank you very much for coming this time, and of course, definitely you are always welcome at PSU. So my welcome speech would be thank you for coming, and I hope the student would enjoy. I'm sure that the student will enjoy the talk today. Just a little reminder to you all, students, that take this opportunity to learn as much as you can, because you are very lucky. You only come for this section, so your friends in other section have to watch the video. So you are very lucky one. Also, you have the break as well. Normally, we don't offer the break in the class. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you now, Ms. Dr. Patra. Thank you, stay on. Before we start, PSU would like to give our token of appreciation to the Consulate, the Consul, for giving us very special event today. Thank you. นักศึกษาถือว่าโชคดีมากๆนะครับที่ได้มีโอกาสฟังท่านกงสุลพูดนะครับท่านจบภาษาเยอรมันนะครับแต่มาเป็นกงสุลนะครับน่าสนใจมากนะไม่ได้จบรัฐศาสตร์ด้วยนะครับไม่ได้จบด้านกฎหมายไม่ได้จบด้านความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างประเทศนะครับก็หวังว่าจะใช้โอกาสนี้กันให้เต็มที่นะครับ And from now on, please welcome our distinguished lecturer, Mr. Triyogo, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ajahn Supawatara, also Ajahn Patara. Thank you for having me here today. I'm very happy. I feel I'm young again when I see and meet young student like you. So I was once like you also. When yes, you heard that I studied German literature in Jakarta, Indonesian University. Do you know why I chose to study German at the time? Simply because I want to know why Germany, as a country that lost in the World War II, could achieve so much progress, even exceeding the countries that are the winner of the war at the time. And I found out that Germany is very clever. I can give you one illustration. When Germany lost in the World War first, that was in 1918, the country was prohibited to develop their armed forces. But Germany at that time encouraged all the people to be very active in one sport, that is air sport, like gliding, like how to be a pilot in a small airplane, light airplane at the time. And France at the time, England, didn't realize that when Hitler suddenly came into power, he had so many trained pilots to be a fighter pilot, so that Germany can easily launch this, they call it blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg means a quick war. So I like studying Germany. Some people also like studying Japan, because Japan is the country that lost the war, but now Japan is number 2 economic power in the world. So if you study history, you will see that during different period there is always conflict, always war. So in this case, as a diplomat, I am diplomat by trade, because I joined the foreign ministry in 1994, and then I went to Canberra. I took a course with my counterpart from Australia. So I took a course for about 9 months with Australian diplomat, and then I took also postgraduate in foreign affairs and trade. So as a trade diplomat, now I believe, I will share it with you, I'm also Muslim, that I don't know, is there any Muslim here? Who is Muslim here? Okay. The reason why I ask is because I want to refer to one verse in Al-Quran. Al-Maidah, verse 48. It says, if God will, He would make you into one nation. But God did not want us to be into one nation. God created us into different nations so that we could learn from each other, respect each other. So in diplomacy word, it would mean that differences are inevitable. You got my point? Differences are inevitable. So people is different, and they think also differently. It is inevitable. What is inevitable in time? What's that? Can you translate it? Differences are inevitable.
ความแตกต่างเป็นสิ่งที่มันหลีกเลี่ยงไม่ได้อะค่ะคือมันเป็นสิ่งที่แน่นอนมันต้องเกิดมันต้องมีความแตกต่างแน่ๆ
I can give you one simple illustration. Do you know how to write number 6, right? If you put 6 in here, I would see from here 6. What would you see from there? 9, right? See, even concrete thing, people will have different view. Concrete thing, reality still provide you with different, making you having different view, different perspective. If it is about thought, about thinking, about view, it always be different between people and the others. So I repeat, differences are inevitable, but this is diplomacy. Conflict is not inevitable. Conflict is always a result of a policy outcome. So with the right policy and leadership, we can achieve a better vision. We can achieve a solution, a better future, a better vision of situation. So at the same time, differences are inevitable, but conflict among people is not inevitable. You got that point? Do you think they understand me? Can you translate it into English and into Thai?
ท่านบอกว่าคือความขัดแย้งนะคะคอนฟ lict เนี่ยเป็นสิ่งที่เราหลีกเลี่ยงได้คือมันจะมีหนทางในการแก้ปัญหาเนี่ยเสมอในวิธีที่แตกต่างไป
Okay. So having said that, in ASEAN now we have 10 countries. It was in 1967 that first we created Association of Southeast Asian Nations. At that time there was 5. At that time these 5 countries, each are different among each other. They are different, but they understood that by becoming one association together, we will have better opportunity to resolve problems. So our founding father in ASEAN, I think at the time, they have the kind of thinking that I just explained to you, that differences are inevitable, but conflicts is not. That's why at that time, 5 member countries decided to establish association, through this association, differences can be managed and resolved. Okay? Who can say, who can mention which are the 5 countries in 1967 that signed the Bangkok Declaration founding ASEAN? Which country? Thailand. Okay. It was signed in Bangkok. By whom? The foreign minister at the time, the foreign minister that established this university. ESU. So one is Thailand. 2. Malaysia. Okay. Singapore.
Indonesia.
Philippines. Okay. So 5 countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Now we have 10 countries. Who are the other new 5 countries? Laos, Myanmar, where? Vietnam, Brunei, Cambodia. Okay. Do you know why the 5 countries' original members. Okay. I thought finish now, we can start asking a question. You know why the founding members countries, 5 countries, decided to include another 5 of us countries in Southeast Asia? Anyone knows why we invite Myanmar to join ASEAN? Why we invited Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam to join ASEAN? Anyone knows? Okay. Just think like in your community, you have friends. The friends live close by to your house, okay? And you will think that it is better if we enlarge the association to include your friends that are close to you geographically, close to your house, so that who knows one day, who knows, when you go back from campus and it's late, you can ask her or him to go back along with you. That's in your daily life. State also the same. States precisely act as an individual, just in different level. Just like friend, you and me, if we are having the same hobby, we are going to tend to be closer than with other people who are different hobby. One criteria is hobby, the other criteria is closeness, or in diplomacy we call it proximity, geographical proximity. In UN, United Nations, when we propose something, we need the support of other members. To find out who are going to support us, the way we identify countries are by looking at the so-called like-minded countries. Like, for example, Indonesia as a developing countries. Indonesia will tend to be closer with another countries who are developing countries also. And then they are decided to establish a group that so-called G77 group. Do you know G77? It's a group of developing countries in relation with the group of developed countries, that is United States and European Union. In terms of language speaking also, there is a group in New York at the United Nations, like-minded countries making a group among countries that speaking the same languages, like group of Portuguese-speaking countries, group of French-speaking countries. China only one country. So now, also there is based on religions, like OIC. Do you know what OIC means? Stand for? Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Okay. So there are many countries that grouping based on the same interest. That is, in diplomacy we call like-minded countries. So like when you are all here, 10 of you like playing tennis. So tennis is same hobby, the same interest. So if in diplomacy we call like-minded countries, in this case like-minded individual. So like-minded, the same tennis like that. In diplomacy also the same. We always join with another countries because we are thinking that by becoming one, we are stronger. Now I will start about ASEAN. You know basic thing, ASEAN established in 1967. The reason why is one is we need to establish a kind of mechanism through which we can resolve our differences. If we can resolve our differences, you will prevent them from becoming a conflict. So, first is differences, and then dispute, and then conflict, and then it could escalate into war. So at the time, the 5 countries thought that we need to have an association that enable us to discuss if there is differences so that we could prevent the differences becoming dispute, escalating into conflict, and escalating into war. So ASEAN was established with that objective in mind. Why? Because to be able to concentrate on development in your own national, be it political, economic, social, culture, you need to have condition that is conducive for you to develop your own national economy. If you don't have any conflict with your neighbor, you can concentrate all your resources to economic development. So that is why ASEAN countries at the time decided that we are going to be an association. And after 50 years or so, after 40 years perhaps, we thought that this is very beneficial as association for all of us. And because we thought that if we can integrate even stronger, then we will benefit it more. That's why in 2000, I think at the time 2007, our leaders decided that we need to create even stronger association, from association becoming a community. That's why we are now having ASEAN community that is based on 3 pillars, that is economic, political, security political, and also social culture. In terms of economy, we are just started in 2000, when is it? 15, right? ASEAN. When did ASEAN Economic Community start? 2015. But some people misunderstood it as though starting from that day, we are immediately becoming community. Now I will inform you why it is not like that. Deciding that we are going to be a community is different from like a legislation in parliament. In parliament, if they decided to adopt a new regulation, enacted new regulation, they discuss it among them, they propose the article of the regulation. When they decide it and then they adopt it, and then from that day, it becomes law. It becomes a regulation that you have to live with later. But if we decide that we are going to have a community, it is not like a legislation. It is a process. Because you cannot decide with your parliament, no, we are going to be ASEAN community. And then tomorrow everyone has to follow this. Cannot be. Community is like you are, it's just like, I don't know, in your culture. In our culture, my parents, when they are married, it was chosen by the parent. So my mother didn't recognize her would-be husband. The parent just decided, so you married with him. Of course, the parent has already considered taking many factors into consideration. But the point is that my mother and my father didn't recognize each other before. Perhaps in marriage we can do like this. Do like that. We decided that you are going to marry with him or with her. Then you develop your household. In my culture, in Japanese culture, there is a saying, a proverb. If you didn't know somebody, you will not having a good impression of that person. If you are getting used to go or to live or to do anything together with somebody, it can start develop a feeling of love. In our culture, I don't know in Thai, perhaps same also in your daily life in campus. Every time you do your homework with certain people and you will think that, oh, I think I'm happy with her or happy with him. And then it starts developing kind of love. So this is, the situation is in contradiction with the saying in English, love at first sight. Do you know the difference? Love at first sight. You immediately falling in love when you see him. That love at first sight. But what I'm talking about is love that being developed by the time. At first, it's just normal. But after 1 week, you start thinking of him or her. After 1 month, you start missing her when she is not around. In our culture like that. Same also. If between one country with another, we are getting used to cooperate, we are getting used to do together something together, then it will develop in diplomacy what we call trust. Trust is very important among states, among relations between states. Same like I just told you now, that states act like individual in community. If you have trust in your friend, then you will be easily developing with him a cooperation because you trust him. So in ASEAN, we at the same time, we have this organization for us so that we could resolve our differences. At the same time, we build confidence and trust among each other. And at the time, we decided that Myanmar should join us, Cambodia also should join us, because at the time, there was a concern that if those countries are not included in ASEAN, they would be under the influence of other major power in the region. So it is in Southeast Asia, we want to be same like when you are having your house. You want to be the master of your own house. ASEAN also the same. We want to be the master of our own region. To be able to achieve this, we need to include all countries in the same region. So, after 50 years, I think we can say that we made it. Although there are many things that we still have to do, there are many things that we still have to improve, but if I can compare it with other regions, you will see that in ASEAN there is no rivalry. In ASEAN there is no strong contrast between one country with another. I can give you one illustration. Do you know South Asia? Which country are belong to South Asia? South Asia. Just name one country in South Asia.
India.
Close to Myanmar, going there, which country? What country is having border with Myanmar on the north side? On the south side, Myanmar has border with Thailand. At the other side,
Bangladesh. Bangladesh.
Okay, let me tell you. South Asia, do you know India? Okay, India is South Asian country. Who is the neighbor of India? Or if you watch news on TV or read news in newspaper, if India says something, which country that immediately says differently? Yeah. Okay. I should refrain myself from naming countries, but this is in classroom, so I think I will just say bluntly. In South Asia, there is very strong rivalries between India and
Bangladesh.
not Bangladesh, with Pakistan. So it will be very clear in any forum, any meeting, usually at the United Nations meeting. If Pakistan say something, proposing something, India will immediately propose different thing. So there is rivalry there. Okay, let's move to Middle East. In Middle East, the rivalry are among Saudi against Iran. Iran said something, Saudi will say different. On top of that, there is also rivalry between Israel with all Arabic and Persian nation. Okay, I go there. In Africa, do you know which country is the strongest country in Africa?
South Africa.
South Africa. So whenever South Africa take the podium in any meeting, proposing something, you can expect delegation from Nigeria or delegation from Egypt will oppose it, will say differently. Same. Now move to Latin America. Which country is the strongest one in Latin America? Okay. Do you like football, soccer? Okay. Which country that in that region? Brazil. Okay.
Argentina.
See, Brazil and Argentina, they are always in. It's like you like Tom and Jerry film? Yeah. So there is always Tom and there is always Jerry in that region. Brazil and Argentina. Go to European Union. Do you know who is Tom, who is Jerry there? Germany and Italy. If Italy wants something, Germany will say, no, not that way. I would like this. Not close to our region. Who is Tom and Jerry in East Asia? East Asia. Okay, let me start by asking you which countries belong to East Asia region. East Asia, Far Eastern. I think you have ever been going to this country. Or at least you drive the car that produced there. Huh? Japan. Okay. And East Asia. Who is? South Korea. And then North Korea and China. See? If North Korea says something, South Korea will say differently. Same. China say and Japan say. You cannot find Tom and Jerry in ASEAN countries. There is no Tom and Jerry, but we love Tom and Jerry here, right?
Malaysia and Singapore.
Malaysia with
Singapore.
Singapore. No, Malaysia, Singapore, they just is a neighbor. Neighbor is all. It is always natural that neighbor have more problem to deal with than like if I have house in Songkhla and I have my colleague stay in Hajj, quite far. We don't have any problem because we don't share border. It's like Thailand. Do you have any problem with Rwanda in Africa? No, because we don't share any border. But you will have it with Malaysia. Malaysia will have it with Singapore. Singapore will have it with Indonesia, Indonesia with Malaysia. Indonesia has border with 10 different countries. 10. If I have to name it, I myself having difficulty in naming it. What I remember is with Malaysia, with all. Border means it could be maritime border, not necessarily only land border. With Thailand we have maritime border. With Singapore we have. With Philippines we have. With Palau we have. With PNG we have. With Australia we have. Because that is precisely because we are neighbor, we need more than ASEAN to manage our differences. Between Indonesia and Malaysia, between Indonesia and Singapore, we have the so-called, the mechanism is, I can't recall the name, but the mechanism is, we agree between Indonesia and Malaysia, between Indonesia and Singapore, to set a schedule twice in 1 year, twice in a year, to have a meeting. So Indonesia President and Malaysian Prime Minister, although there is no problem at all, we have already set a schedule that we are going to meet on this day in this town. That is in diplomacy, if you have problem with your neighbor, the first thing that you have to do is you have to set a schedule of meeting. By having that meeting, any of these countries involved can raise the issue. That's why in Indonesia and Malaysia we have a schedule of meeting every 6 months, once every 6 months. With Singapore also the same. Indonesia with Australia also the same. We don't have with Thailand because we don't have a lot of problems comparing with our neighbors that are sharing border, land border. But I'm quite sure that between Malaysia and Thailand, there must be a fixed schedule for meeting every 6 months or every year. Between Indonesia and Malaysia, we have a schedule of a meeting between foreign ministers, the so-called joint, what is it? Komisi Bersama? Joint Commission meeting. So meeting between Indonesian delegation and Thai delegation, headed by foreign minister of each countries. And the agenda list, any country can just raise it. And you know, in diplomacy, the most important thing is you need to set a meeting whenever there is dispute of differences. That's why when you have to attend a meeting in international or regional like ASEAN, if it is ASEAN or UN or any other meeting, if it is regular meeting, the agenda has already been decided by the so-called senior official. In your case, Permanent Secretary of Foreign Minister is the senior officer heading Thai delegation in the meeting. In that meeting, they decided the agenda. In a meeting, formal meeting, countries cannot suddenly include in the meeting new agenda. Cannot be. That is against the rule of procedure in a meeting. Same like you, when you are going to meet your ASEAN and you agree with your ASEAN to set a meeting on this day to discuss your, let's say if it is postgraduate, discuss the thesis. During the discussion, both parties only expect to raise about the thesis. The student cannot suddenly ask the ASEAN, I don't have money to pay my dog, like that. Cannot. You have to set another meeting, you set the agenda, you propose the agenda to be discussed. Same also. In ASEAN, if it is ASEAN meeting, agenda has already been decided before by senior official. And let me explain to you what is the mechanism in ASEAN. In ASEAN consists of 10 countries, and there always be a chair of ASEAN, which is rotating every year. Do you know who is the chair of ASEAN this year? Did you follow the news? Last May, Prime Minister General Prayut went to attend ASEAN Summit in which countries in ASEAN? The summit was held last May. Do you remember when your Prime Minister made a foreign trip in May in ASEAN? You don't remember? Okay, you can start it. Is it in Malaysia? Yes or no?
Yes.
No. Okay. Is it in Singapore?
Yeah.
No. Is it in Indonesia?
Yeah.
No.
Philippines.
So, that's in Manila in Philippines, yes. So, ASEAN, whenever is a country chair, this year is Philippines. The formal meeting of ASEAN is the schedule of 1 year from January to February to December. It always be in February. There will be a retreat meeting between foreign minister of ASEAN. The difference between a retreat meeting and formal meeting is in terms of setting the agenda. The list of agenda to be discussed, if it is formal meeting, it will be informed to you in advance. Retreat, by definition, retreats mean you go outside having informal talk. There is no agenda setting. You can raise whatever you like to raise in that meeting because it is informal. Why it is informal? Because any decision in that meeting will not be binding, will never be referred by anyone in the future. So it is informal. Because it is informal, so anyone can raise anything. That is retreat meeting. There is one a little interesting and funny thing in New York, in United Nations. Whenever there is resolution being adopted, before resolution there is informal meeting. consultation. So it's like in parliament, among member of political party having informal meeting. Formal meeting usually only to adopt it, decision to adopt. Before formal meeting can be set, everyone has to agree first with the outcome document. The outcome document was discussed in informal meeting. If it is in UN, there is the so-called informal meeting. So it's like we are in a class, let's say we are thinking that, oh, there is a problem in us to use the facility provided by the university. Okay, I think this is a problem. We have to discuss to allocate time which people use in different days, which others in other days. So before you go into the meeting, you will discuss it informally with your colleague. And that is informal meeting. You might discuss it in the canteen, you might discuss it in any other place. When among you all come into agreement, I think, yeah, this is an issue that we have to deal with. We have to solve this, otherwise there will be conflict between one group and another because they are competing using the facility. Because you are all agreeing into the issue, then you ask the university to provide you a room like this, to have a meeting discussing this. And that is called informal meeting. And then you make a kind of document to be signed by all that we agree this group use the facility like the stadium on Monday, the other on Sunday, like that. If there is a document already agreeable, then you come to formal meeting to officiate or to adopt it officially. Same in ASEAN, among ministers, there is one informal meeting, the so-called retreat meeting, in February. This meeting will be kind of giving guidance to the chair. Or the chair also inform other members what are we going to do during my chairmanship. At the time, the theme of the chairmanship has already been decided. From that one, and then there will be ministerial meeting followed by summit attended by head of state in May. May is the first summit of ASEAN, and it is exclusively on the ASEAN. Then, after that, the next summit meeting is sometime in November or October. Usually in the last month of October or in the first week of November. In the second meeting, ASEAN not only having ASEAN Summit, but also holding ASEAN China Summit, ASEAN Japan Summit, ASEAN USA Summit, ASEAN UN Summit, ASEAN India Summit, and also East Asia Summit. Do you know what is East Asia Summit? This year, the issue is whether President Donald Trump will attend ASEAN Summit or not. Do you know, will he come? At first, he said, I will not come. But later on, now we got confirmation he will come to the summit in Manila. So you can see from the description of the schedule of meeting that ASEAN is becoming a center of international forum. Not only ASEAN, but also ASEAN with US, ASEAN with Russia. So if you learn diplomacy and international relations, you will understand and you will conclude that ASEAN play a very important role in managing the region, because ASEAN is becoming always the host. just like in your community. If you have any issues and then you have a meeting, you decided which place you are going to be a venue for the meeting. If you decided to do it in your home or in different home, there is an indication that the person who are the host are the person that are respected by all participants. The same, ASEAN becoming a host, becoming a center of many international meetings. And this is achieved not by suddenly coming out from the sky. ASEAN countries earn it, work very hard to maintain the so-called centrality in the region. That's explained why ASEAN now is very, the so-called people think that ASEAN is a very successful organization. It's not only able to manage differences among member countries, it's not only managed to agree on many important projects among member countries, but it could also be able to make ASEAN as a center, host of many international meetings, of which many foreign other major power came to attend the meeting. Like next November in Manila, Donald Trump will come. President Putin also will come. Secretary General of UN also will come. Prime Minister of Australia, India are coming to ASEAN. So this is one of the achievement of ASEAN. I know you will find it difficult to appreciate this, but in international relations, this achievement is very appreciated by many, that ASEAN managed to be a leader, to be central in managing the architecture of security, in managing a solution for any issues, be it economic issues, social culture, environment, also illegal trading of drugs, many things. And because of this, when we celebrate 50 years of ASEAN, we reflect that we are happy to have this ASEAN, but we understand, we are aware that there are many things that we still have to do to achieve our shared aspiration, to achieve our common aspiration. Do you know what are we going to achieve in the future with ASEAN? We want to create common prosperity, common security, and common stability. Common stability is very important so that there is security. Peaceful situation. This peaceful situation is a condition conducive for us to focus on our economic development. So, we are happy to have ASEAN in 50 years. There is no open conflict in the region for the whole 50 years, and we expect that we are not going to have it in the future also. Now everybody in the region are worried that in East Asia, you remember North Korea launched a missile and tried a nuclear bomb. Everyone is afraid of it. It might be open conflict in that country. And ASEAN tries to help decrease the tension between North Korea and South Korea, and also with Japan. So I hope what I explained to you will give you kind of understanding that you can appreciate ASEAN. ASEAN, although some people might say that you don't feel that ASEAN is benefited to you, but in terms of state interrelation, international relation, it did a very good job for the 50 years. Do you remember who is the Secretary General of ASEAN from Thailand in 2004-2009? Anyone knows? Anyone knows who is the Secretary General of ASEAN from Thailand last 2 years? You don't know? He is your foreign minister, used to be an ex-foreign minister. Who? Who? I give you one word. Surin? Yeah. Surin Wicwan is a former Secretary General of ASEAN, and he did it very well. He did it very well. Now is the Trump from Vietnam. And then there is a rotation after T, Thailand, Vietnam, after T, then it could be come to the alphabet starting from A.
วันนภา
So that's ASEAN. It's already 5:30. Huh? 5:30 already. Okay. I think I better stop here. I will just leave it. Can you just turn it on? One by page by page. Okay. Next page. Before I came here, I asked my colleague in Jakarta and Foreign Ministry, what is the current issues in ASEAN meeting last summit May? This is in Bahasa because I just got it this afternoon. Anyone knows Bahasa? Anyone speak Malay? Who? Okay. Do you understand the first paragraph? Huh? Do you understand it? So the first one basically is the head of state of ASEAN decided that we need to implement the vision of ASEAN Community 2025 in each pillar. There are 3 pillars: social security pillar, economic pillar. So in economic pillar we call it economic community, in socio-political we call it socio-political community, and the other one is socio-cultural community. Second one, vision of ASEAN Community 2025 in all its pillars. The second one is installation of video conferencing facilities in ASEAN Secretariat Office in Jakarta and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of each member countries, so that it would facilitate coordination between member countries with ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta. Number 3, the need to increase coordination across the pillar and across agencies within ASEAN to continue integration process. And then next is ASEAN need to further advance the principle of centrality and unity of ASEAN. So what I'm trying to point out is that those are the issues that are now still becoming the thing that our leaders think we need to achieve. Just next slide. Same. Okay, next one. This is before and after. There is distrust among countries, and that's why we decided to have ASEAN. Okay? This is the transformation of ASEAN in history. It was established in 1967, Bangkok Declaration, and then we decided to have ASEAN Concord, that is in ASEAN we call it TAT, Treaty of Amity and TAC, Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. TAT is Tourism Authority of Thailand. TAC, Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, it is a treaty if like India want to be a dialogue partner of ASEAN, so India has to sign this treaty. The treaty basically says that you agree that if there is differences, there is dispute among you and ASEAN countries, we are going to use what is it? To use non-force means. So basically it's saying I'm not going to wage war with ASEAN countries when we have conflict. We agree that we are going to resolve it through dialogue and peaceful means. And then is ASEAN Concord, ASEAN Community. That's 2003 is the year when we decided to establish ASEAN Community. And then in 2011 we decided to make ASEAN Community as a global community of nations. Now it just stopped there, global community of nations. Do you know what is the difference between ASEAN and European Union? Anyone knows? Anyone knows what is European Union? No. Anyone knows which country last year decided to leave the European Union? Which country? Through referendum decided I'm going to leave the European Union. Exit from European Union. Do you know? Do you know what is it? What Brexit is? What Brexit stands for? What is Brexit? Brexit is British exit. So England decided to leave the European Union. Do you think, is there any possibility any country in ASEAN decided to leave ASEAN? Will Thailand in the future decide to leave ASEAN?
No.
No? Why not? Do you see the benefit of becoming an ASEAN member? What is the benefit for you, for Thailand? Can anyone just say one benefit joining ASEAN? If you cannot answer this, just to mention one, so I'm afraid one day perhaps you will.
The economy.
Can you just mention one? Why you are in a good position or you get benefit from the membership of ASEAN?
The economic benefit.
Economics better because you have to cooperate with others. Okay. Okay, then I trust you that Thailand will not leave ASEAN.
Yeah.
You know why there is Brexit? The difference between ASEAN and European Union is, if it is European Union, it is kind of supranational. Supranational is like Thailand, if a member of supranational like the European Union. You give up part of your authority as a state. Like you are not going to use baht, but you are going to use in European Union, what currency is it?
Euro.
Yeah. So any country in the European Union give up their authority or sovereignty in economy. And they are fed up because I spent about 6 months in Den Haag taking a course on negotiation. My colleague from the Netherlands said to me that before European Union decided to use euro, do you know what is the currency of Netherlands before they joined euro? Gulden. Okay. In the Netherlands, before one beer like Singha, how do you say? Singha cost 1 gulden. When they change into euro, it is still 1 euro, same. But gulden in euro is different. 20 gulden equivalent to 1 euro. So it's like saying 1 Singha there, cost used to be only 1 gulden, becoming 20 gulden. But still number 1, but euro. So you give up part of your authority, your sovereignty in currency. You also have to give up your authority in terms of immigration. Do you know what is the requirement when you go to Europe? You need to have visa. What kind of visa? Schengen, right? You go to Netherlands, you need to have Schengen. And who is issuing the visa? Not the Netherlands. It is the European Union in Brussels. So, also in foreign affairs policy, there is common policy of European Union. So it's kind of like you are becoming one of the province of European Union, not a country. If ASEAN, it is different. ASEAN is not a supranational. You don't give up your sovereignty. It is just an intergovernmental organization, association. So you still have your sovereignty. You just need to harmonize regulation with other countries so that our region can have a better competitive edge comparing with others. So by cooperation in economy, we are kind of creating market from Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, all in all there are 600 million. And because of this big market, then foreign investors came to invest in ASEAN countries, including in Thailand. So that's the difference. And because of that, it's very slim chance that there will be any country of ASEAN will say kind of Brexit. No, there is no. And in European Union now there is one problem, one more problem. The first is for Brexit, and the other one in Spain. Do you know what happened in Spain? In Barcelona? What's that? Anyone knows what happened in Barcelona last 22nd October? Barcelona is the capital city of Catalonia. Okay? In bahasa Catalunya, Catalonia. This province declared independence. Okay. Didn't you follow it in the news? It declared independent, but no country in the world recognized it. No country recognized it. Because the referendum was held illegally. It's not according with the constitution of Spain. So no countries recognize it. So in ASEAN, if any one of the provinces do the same, no one also will recognize it. Okay, I think I stop here. Is there any question? If no question, I will be the one that asks. Okay. I will choose one lady and one guy, maybe. Okay. Before I ask question, I just give you opportunity. Is there any question? If there is one question from the female student, there will be no question from me. Same also, if there is question from male student, there will be no question from me, myself to you. Okay, from ladies first. Do you have any question? Or do you understand what I'm explaining to you? Who is not? Who is not? You? You want to ask? So, okay, I ask you, who is not understanding me? No one raise your hand. No, I'm asking you, do you understand what I'm saying? What I have explained to you? Okay, who understand? Raise your hand. Okay, I come back to this. Who among you didn't understand me or what I'm just saying now? You don't understand? Eh? No. You understand or you don't understand? You don't understand. So, who understand? Who understood me?
A little bit.
A little bit. Oh, okay. What is a little bit? That you understand.
You talk about the importance of ASEAN association.
Talk about what?
The importance.
Important.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you understand it, can you explain what is the importance of ASEAN?
If we have more community or enlarge our community, we will enlarge our economy and we can fight with European or America or any association.
Good, thank you. What's your name? What is your name?
Good. G-double-O-D.
T-double-O.
Yeah, it's my nickname.
Oh, his nickname. Okay.
Yeah.
I have colleague from Thai when I took my postgraduate in Canberra. She's very beautiful and the name is quite long. But her nickname is War. I said, why you choose the nickname of War? War is you fighting with somebody, right? Why this beautiful girl having the name of War? Are you always fighting with men? I asked her. No, on the contrary, I'm always peaceful with anyone else. That's why I was called War. Okay.
Sorry, my nickname is G-double-O-D.
T-double-O-D.
D-dog.
Toy.
D-double-O-D. D-dog.
T-double-O-D.
D. โกดครับโกดโกดครับที่แบบว่าดี
Good. Oh, G dot not T. I heard T. G-double-O-G-O. Oh, good. Good. Oh, good. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Is that the expectation of your parent that you are going to be, your parent want you to be a good guy?
Yeah.
Do you think you can fulfill it? Do you think you can fulfill that expectation? Fulfill the expectation of your parent?
I think
I think yes.
yes.
Good. Good. Okay. Now I would like to listen from the female. anyone knows a little bit about what I'm just explaining to you? Okay, please think of it. Now I'm referring to you. You don't understand what thing that you don't understand. You don't understand a lot. Okay, just name one. If there are a lot. Just name one that you are still confused. Or in other words, just raise the question. What you like to know that you don't understand from? Oh, you don't understand the differences between European and... Okay. The easiest one is in ASEAN. We are still using our own currency. Indonesia using rupiah, Malaysia using ringgit, Thai using baht. What is the Philippines is using? Peso, Singapore dollar. So in ASEAN, each country is still using their own currencies. In Europe, what the Netherlands use? Euro, right? What the France use? Euro. What Germany use? Euro. What Greek use? Euro also. Greece. What's that? Italian use? Euro, right? Germany at the time, before joining Euro, used Deutsche Mark. Italian use, what's that? Lira. France, you see? What is the currency of France? France, right? So they are using the same currency that is Euro. It means the difference is in Thailand, you have your own Central Bank of Thailand. Indonesia have Central Bank of Indonesia. Indonesia Central Bank can decide the rate, the interest rate for your deposit in the bank. In Germany, in Netherlands, they cannot. It is decided centrally by Brussels, by European Union, Central Bank. So that's the difference. Visa, if you go to Indonesia, you have to have Indonesian visa. If you are going to study. If as tourist, among all ASEAN countries, you don't need any visa for 30 days. But if you want to study, you need to have visa to Indonesia. Indonesians need to have visa to Thailand. So in different countries, different visa. But in European, you go to Netherlands, you need Schengen visa. In Germany, you need Schengen visa also. So immigration, your immigration office in here can make regulation who can come, who cannot. In European Union, you cannot do that. Who is doing this? European Union in Brazil. Then, what's next? Foreign policy. In Thailand, your ministry in Bangkok, foreign policy, can choose which policy they are going to take. Indonesia can choose it differently. Malaysia can have differently. In European Union, you cannot do that. It should be one policy to be used by all member countries. So in European Union, you gave up part of sovereignty as a country, as a state. In ASEAN, you are sovereign country. That's why in diplomacy we call European Union is supranational, because supra is above nation. So this state, and there is above state. In ASEAN, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, we are equal. No one above us. So this is the difference between European Union and ASEAN. In terms of advantage, if it is one like European Union, it must be having a stronger position, because when you are having a dispute with Dutch, you are principally having dispute with the whole European Union. But if in ASEAN, China have a problem with Indonesia, it's only with Indonesia, not ASEAN. But in European Union, you have problem with France, it means you are also having problem with the whole European Union. So there's a difference. So sometimes, it's kind, if I put it in your country, it's like Songkhla, province of Songkhla, or Thailand, become a province of ASEAN, same like Songkhla, a province of Thailand. If it is in European Union, if it is in ASEAN, we have kind of loose ties. What is it, loose ties? Not as strict as European Union. So, it's, if I put it in e-system, when you meet a guy and then you decided to marry him, then you need to go to court to legalize your marriage. When the guy has already been your husband, then between you and the husband having kind of a contract, wedding marriage. So it's like Netherlands with European Union. If in ASEAN, like Thai or Indonesia with ASEAN, it's like that you just my boyfriend, you just my girlfriend. I was informed by one of the businessmen in Krabi. There is one Thai word that is to say boyfriend or girlfriend. In Thai, is it kick? Kick? Is that correct? Kick? Do you have kick? Huh? Kick is you kind of having underground wife. Is that correct? Kick? Is it correct? Kick? Kick? Kick. How many kick do you have? So you understand that? It's like in ASEAN, it's like you are just only boyfriend who are ASEAN Secretariat. If it is in European, the Netherlands is like married with European Union in Brazil. So that's the difference. And that's why Brexit is kind of divorce. If ASEAN, you don't have to divorce if you, because there is no any, how to say it, surat nikah itu. Yeah, there is no marriage certificate. So you can just go with others. Is it the same if woman has kids or only man has kids? Huh? Both. Both used for man and woman. Kids. I don't have kids. Okay, thank you very much. If you have no question, I'm happy to be able to interact with you. Anything you need about Indonesia, information about Indonesia, please come to our consulate, or you can consult through phone with us or through my colleague in Burono. I leave one slide to you, but that is basically the slide. Bruno, can you open up one slide, the one that resolution? I just want to give you inspiration. If you are dreaming of becoming a diplomat one day, this is the language, the English that you need to concentrate in studying. I will give you ini matiin. Nggak matiin, bukan. Udah. Dibuka lagi di US. This is the English vocabulary that you need to concentrate to if you are dreaming of becoming ambassador or diplomat of Thailand in any other countries. I give you one illustration. Here. I will leave it for you because these words are words that are usually used in any international meeting. In diplomacy, if I put it in a spectrum, if there is an event, on the left extreme is you condemn it. Let's say there is an event in Malaysia. If you don't agree with that event at the extreme left, you condemn it. But at the right extreme, you support it or you welcome it. So between welcome and the right extremities in this spectrum, with condemning, you understand it? You understand me? In here, if you don't agree, let's say, I'm here, I don't agree. At the extreme, this one extreme, I cannot move there, extreme. I condemn this. If I agree, but at the extreme means that I cannot move beyond this. I welcome or I support. In the middle is neutral position. Usually in meeting, they just use the word take note or note. You got it? You understand? Neutral position, take note. Between this take note with condemn, there is any position here. If you don't really agree with the event, but you cannot say condemn because condemn is a bit too harsh. So you will move a bit here, just by saying take note with concern here. So this country or you are in the position of not agreeing the event, but you don't condemn it, a bit less. Take note with concern. If it is more that you don't agree with this stronger, move there again. You can say you take note with regret. You understand me? From concern to regret. And then move it here. You might say we cannot accept it. Not acceptable. And then here you deplore. Deplore. English deplore means you don't like at all. And this one, not only that I cannot accept it, I also condemn with strongest term. Same in this middle, take note, if you a bit agree, only small, you say here, you don't say welcome, but you might say, take note with appreciation. If you agree more, you might say, I appreciate it, but you don't take note, you appreciate it. So, this is the word that you can learn. I give you one illustration, like resolusi apa. Terus. Oh, apa? Oh. APEC leader declaration. You know, if you are in a meeting between states, this is the outcome document that you usually produce. Now, here, number 25. There is a situation in which Papua New Guinea at the time want APEC leaders to agree Papua New Guinea becoming a host of APEC, but several leaders didn't agree. So Papua New Guinea want my country has to be put in that paragraph, Papua New Guinea. But in here, many that didn't agree. I will not come to Papua New Guinea if it is becoming a host. So there is a conflict, dispute, there is differences. One country wants to be a host, the other country does not agree. So the original word is, if we are all agree, the word are, we welcome the offers of PNG to be a host. But because there is one country cannot agree, then to accommodate the wishes of Papua New Guinea, the name of Papua New Guinea still place it in the paragraph, then the chair proposed to use the word appreciative. So it is the difference between welcome and appreciative. If welcome is here, right? It means if I agree welcome, I will come to PNG as a host of APEC. I will come. But because it's here, I just appreciate. I didn't commit myself to come. See? That's the way how diplomats resolve conflict. So that's why if you are dreaming of becoming a diplomat one day, please study vocabulary of English, the one that I leave it for you. If you concentrate on this, and then there is a vacancy in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand, you will have a better chance to be accepted. You understand it? You got it? Understand? Okay. Good? Do you understand? Good? Good? Do you understand
Yeah.
what I am explaining?
You teach about the word.
Word.
The words.
The words. So in
About
English,
audience.
vocabulary, yes, the word has a degree of meaning. Although it is same, but there's a degree in difference like that. So when you are able to have this skill in differentiating the meaning between more or less the same words, then you are becoming a very good diplomat. Because you will be able to build bridges. That is what I'm calling in diplomacy. You need to have the skill and capabilities of building bridges. Bridge is to connect between one and the other. The bridge, if it is engineer, if it is infrastructure, it is the cement and brick and everything and iron. If it's diplomacy, the bridge is basically words, vocabulary. And those are the vocabulary that you can learn if you are interested to become a diplomat. And this is not only for diplomats. For those who are interested to work in any multinational companies with many foreign citizens in it, that you need to have this skill as well. Okay, thank you very much. I hope I don't take too long time of your time, and I hope at least, even though it is small, you can inspire, you can get something from what I said. One day, perhaps, one day, whenever I go to any countries, perhaps I will see you there as a Thailand ambassador in that country. Thank you very much. In Muslim, we say, Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.
excellent diplomat, but also a very excellent instructor and lecturer. I think today we not only learn about ASEAN, but we understand ASEAN in comparative perspective. Now you know South Asia, you know Latin America, you know Europe in comparative perspective to ASEAN. And more important than knowledge, I think today you also get an inspiration. And inspiration is very important for your future. Or how you keep it. So on behalf of the no, not the Faculty of Law, sorry. On behalf of Freedom Songkhla University, we are thank you for your time and effort that you give to our students. So please giving him a very big applause for thank you. So thank you very much. And we hope that we will have a chance to meet you again in nearby future, in class or as a co-worker or whatever. Thank you very much. Thank you.